So good afternoon, everybody. I thank you for staying here for the last sections. So today, I was talking about food safety perspectives, and we're looking into that. So, I think we give a very good, introduction on the treatment and economic perspectives. And today, I will kind of, go over on food safety. And so, in the first, I would like to go over some, safety-related introductions. And we all know in the food, supply in the United States, it's pretty safe, compared with other parts of the world. But each year in the United States, we also have a lot of outbreak, foodborne outbreak. And you're looking into this, so we have, 1,400 outbreaks in the United States. And this reflects to about, around 50 million illness and, about more than 100,000 hospitalizations and 3,000, illnesses. So that is kind of dramatic. And then, outbreak, kind of, and contamination incidents are global and wide-reaching. And this involves all kind of food, and which including kind of, ready-to-eat meat and egg products and low moist food, and more increasingly involved in minimum processed fresh produce. And so this is kind of, on here. And here is introduction on the foodborne illness. And you look into here, there list, 5 top foodborne illness, foodborne pathogen involved in the, hospitalizations. And here, in this kind of tables, and one is highlighted, number 1 is Salmonella, and this is what we will analyze in our samples. And then go down with, STAC, E. coli 0157H7, and sugar toxin producing E. coli. We will go on there. And then next, I want to highlight is Listeria monocytogenes. And because, on that list, we didn't see a lot of, outbreak kind of illness. But you look into the, mortality on here, death compared with other pathogens. So Listeria, even though it's not a very commonly causing, illness, but it's high mortality. And it can be high as, 20 to 30%. And then, I kind of go over a little bit on Listeria. Listeria is, as I introduced it previously, is a high mortality. And it's also it's environmental species, and it's listed by FDA is pathogen of concern. Besides, so that is why Listeria is our detection, one of the target organisms. And then, coming to the Salmonella, it's listed the number 1 causing, hospitalization in the United States, and involved in diverse, food outbreaks. And I also want to make kind of point out all Salmonella is pathogens. And then, going to the next is I'm counting, major foodborne pathogen is E. coli 0157H7 and others sugar toxin producing E. coli. And this E. coli causing, blood diarrhea and hemolytic uremic syndromes and even death. So it's kind of, high infectious. And so, compare with, 2 other pathogens I mentioned previously, E. coli, majority of E. coli is not pathogenic, even though in the media or in the outbreak, we always say E. coli outbreak. But, most of E. coli is not pathogenic, even, health beneficial. It's kind of, our common bacteria in our digestive tract. So now only E. coli causing, E. coli causing our sick is sugar toxin producing E. coli, and this is diverse. The more than 100 types. And here, I kind of group in the 2. So now most famous one is E. coli 0157H7. And then, besides this is no 0157 stacks. So in our study, we test, in the both. So we test E. coli 0157H7 and no 0157 stacks. And then, you know, E. coli, I think probably you all familiar, still remember, you know, this year, 2018, we have 2 outbreaks linked to E. coli regarding to the, you know, Roman lettuce. So that's why, you know, it's causing more than 200 cases, a lot of deaths, you know, around, you know, 9 deaths. And so their contamination source is coming from fecal shedding of the cattle. So it's main shedding source on theirs. So now we say, you know, this pathogen is kind of, you know, unique challenge in fresh produce, and as you all probably familiar more than I am, because, you know, our fresh produce grow in open environment, and, you know, pathogen can persistent in environment. And also, you know, most important, you know, thing is because we don't have kill steps. So that is kind of causing, you know, problems on here. And obviously because of this, you know, outbreaks, and because of this, you know, toughness, that's why we have new food safety law on this. And this is kind of, you know, food FSMA on there. So FSMA is dedicated, targeted to kind of minimum processed fresh produce. And so, you know, there is 5 rules, and one of the rules is fresh produce rules, and mainly is targeting on growing, harvesting, and post-harvesting handling of fresh produce. And the idea of the FSMA is on prevention instead of, you know, kind of inspections. So then go on here, you know, FSMA target 5, you know, focus areas, and I will not repeat those 5 focus areas, but I want to point out here one of the things is biological soil amendment and animal allergens. So that is on the, I want to, you know, kind of point out. And so we say the untreated animal allergen count, you know, soil amendment can have potential carrier foodborne pathogens. And so that's why it's, you know, crop count, you know, manure management is very important, as, you know, point out, because the manure nutrient, you know, is kind of, it's, you know, it's a huge kind of resource, and it's a nutrient, it's valuable nutrient for our crops, but, you know, can carry foodborne pathogens. That's why it's very important on here. And it's also, I want to point out, manure kind of implicate in the, you know, E. coli 0157H7 outbreaks. And, you know, back into 2006 is a spinach field in the California, and that's causing 200 cases and, you know, 3 deaths. So then FDA tracing back is, you know, those pathogen source coming back from 4, you know, kind of animal range in the California areas. And so that is kind of, you know, point out it's important of, you know, manure management. Here coming with our objectives. So what we want to do is trying to evaluate dairy manure derived fertilizer application on microbial safety on soil. We also sample on the leaves and fruits, and trying to see, you know, what's happening. And we sample on the, you know, raspberries and blueberry fields. And we target, as I introduced in the previously, we target on Salmonella, Listeria monocytogenes, and E. coli 0157H7, as well as, you know, sugar toxin producing E. coli. So now this is, you know, again, is a brief overview of our treatment. We have, you know, 7 treatment or 6 treatment, depend on, you know, 5 treatment or 6 treatment, depend on the years. And so this study is kind of long-term study. We involved 3 years study, and in today's presentation, I present 2 years of results. This last year and this year's results on here. So this is on the raspberry field, and then we have blueberry field. And again, you know, this is only 3 treatment. And so, you know, I kind of briefly introduce on here. So for each treatment, we have 4 plots. Within 1 plot, you know, we sample 2 samples for soils and 2 to 3 samples for leaf samples, and 3 samples for fruit samples. So that means, you know, and times 4, and we have like kind of, you know, 8 to 12 samples to analysis. And so this is kind of our sample scheduling. So before we apply fertilizer, we did a pre-sampling. So this is our kind of pre-treatment soil sampling. And then we sample our fertilizer and go on, you know, right after we apply soils and we did post-application, you know, sampling. And then we did soil sample is pre-fruit harvest sampling on the June, in early June. And then we come in with, you know, sampling of our leaf samples and then coming with our fruit sampling. And then after, you know, we collect fruit samples, we also sample the soil samples. So this is kind of, you know, all go through kind of our sampling plans on here. And so this is our kind of brief overview of our method. So when we collect, you know, fruit samples, soil sample, leaf samples, and we first go is, you know, kind of, you know, we extract bacteria. So it's we kind of go into enrichment stage. And so leaf and the fruit and soil do differently. And then we go to the enrichment, and then we go to the, you know, detections. And so for each bacteria, we're using two different, you know, plating methods. So E. coli 0157H7, we're using the SMAC and, you know, chromo agar on that for this set. So we just want to double make sure, you know, this result is confident, you know, it's kind of, you know, confirmed. And then for Listeria, we're using Mox agar and chromo Listeria. And then, you know, for the Salmonella, as I said, all Salmonella is pathogenic. And then, you know, for the Salmonella, it's diverse group. There, at this moment, there is no single medium can recover all those Salmonellas. That's why we did a lot of studies. We using two different enrichment and 4 different, you know, plating methods. So this is kind of, you know, so it's one sample becoming 8 samples. This, you know, a lot of work involved there. So we want to make sure all the, you know, Salmonella is identified. So that's why, you know, involved in here. And so here we kind of, I'm showing the first result of its E. coli 0157H7 and stack results. And so this is how it look like, you know, when the pathogen on the plates. So if it's negative, you got, you know, kind of pink plates. And if it's, you know, positive, you got kind of, you know, clear colonies. And then there is more, you know, new developing, you know, kind of plates is chroma agar, and this give you colorful, you know, colonies. And this marble color on this indicator is, you know, 0157H7 or stacks. So this is kind of, you know, how to show you how to analyze the samples and then, you know, coming with the result. And this is very busy tables, including 2 years of the studies. And looking into here, so we have the treatment on here. So you will see, you know, in 2017, we have 5 treatment. And in the 2018, we have 6 treatment. And then, you know, the first column in here is fertilizers. And so good thing is we didn't detect any 0157H7 or stack. So now I want to point out, even though I group them in one tables, so we detect 0157H7 and stack in the different method because they're using the different specific, you know, method to detect it. So for all those, you know, for fertilizer, we sample 4 samples, and each is coming with. So this is total number, and this is positive number. So from cross border, we didn't detect any positive, you know, samples. And then, you know, here is soil results. And from pre-application, right after application, and pre-harvest, and right after harvest. And so cross all the board, and it's all coming with negative, and from both years. And then we detect soil and, you know, fruit samples. And you can see from here, it's all negative. Then that's indicated, you know, our kind of application didn't compromise our food safety efficacy. So this is from, you know, 0157H7, 2 years result. Then coming with Listeria monocytogenes, again, you know, as I introduced, after enrichment, we did 2 plating methods, and one using the MOX. And MOX is not very specific compared with chroma agar. In the MOX place, we did got some presumable, you know, kind of positives. And then we conform with chromo agas, and it's all negatives. And I wanted to point out, if we detect any positive samples, and we will conform with latex and followed with PCR method. So that is, we kind of do multiple kind of, layer of confirmations. And so this is, the stereo kind of plating method, and here coming with the result. Again, this is 2 years result. And so across the board, and you can see from fertilizer, soils, and fruits, and both years we didn't detect any positive result after, we kind of conforming by latex and PCR method. And I would want to point out, when we detect with mocks, as I said in the previous, it's not very specific, and we do see some presumable kind of positives. And then we do the PCR method and the latex method and confirm this is negative on theirs. And then coming with Salmonella. As I say, Salmonella is pretty complicated because it's diverse, silicate, and so there is no specific, kind of media suitable for this detection. That's why we're using two enrichment, RD and TT in short, and confirmation with different 4 plating method on here. And so I was showing the result by years because it's more result coming out from here. So now, Chroma Salmonella obviously is a new development kind of, differentiation mediums, and this gives us kind of more specific, and obviously, cost more on here. And so this, if we got the Salmonella positive, and this is kind of give you marble colors on here. So then looking into the, tables, again, this is pretty busy tables. And so now here I wanted to point out from fertilizer, and we see some positives. Those positive is conformed by latex and conformed by, PCR method. And so even though we can, detect positive on the fertilizer or some is early application, right after application. And so when we sample on the late stage, before harvest and post-harvest, soil result coming to the negatives. So, right up, because soil fertilizer is positive, and right after application, there is some positive coming out. And then, after certain times, and before harvest and right at harvest, and all cross-board is negative. And then, coming from the, soil samples and fruit sample, all those are negative. And this is, good result, good, kind of confirmation. And then, across the board, you can see, different pricing combination with enrichment method give us, kind of slightly different result. That's why, we kind of using different method, even though this is kind of research efforts is kind of tripled or, 4 times, but, this is important to kind of, comprehensively to detect foodborne pathogens on here. Then coming with, this year, result from raspberry. So all those results, what I'm presenting right now is from raspberry field. And so looking into here, again, we got some, positive in the fertilizers and the early applications. And I also want to point out here, in the, before application, we do have some positive samples coming out. But the good news is, after, before harvest, all coming to the negative. And then, fruit leaf samples is all negative, and post-harvest, and it's all negative. So, in the early stage, we did see some positives, and, in some treatment. And then you go into the, showing some result on the, blueberries. So for E. coli 0157H7 stack, the Listeria monocytogenes in blueberry is across the board negative. Soil sample, fruit samples, leaf samples is all the negative. That's why I didn't show in here. So I do want to point out on the salmonella because we see the positive in the early stage right after application in the raspberries. So let's look at on here in the blueberries. In 2017, very clean. We didn't detect any positive on the blueberries. Then in the this year we did see some positive right after application. Then, cross the board before the fruit harvest and post harvest, and then, leaf samples and fruit samples is across the board is negative. And so this is from here. And then we're looking, so those are our three important foodborne pathogens. And then we're looking into coliforms, because coliform is a broad class of the environmental bacteria. Their level reflect, high potential of the contamination on the foodborne pathogens. So we cross the border looking into the coliforms. So this is 2017, the results. And you can see, coliform numbers in compound sample or PC group is high in this, and we were surprised, it's pretty low in here, DLE treatment. And then in soil samples is about, 5 log. This is cross-border. We, search the reference. It's very, kind of consistent with other publications. And then you cross the border, it's pretty stable in this 2000 years, from pre-harvest to post-harvest and pre-application, right after application, and during the harvest seasons. It's kind of pretty consistent on here. And then we're looking into see the 2018, and you can see here again, compost. The compost has the highest, coliforms, and then we have seen that this year is different. Like DOE, we see high level of coliforms, and SL, it's manure, raw manure is a high levels, and we adding this. So, difference is from 2017 and 2018. We added raw manure in 2018 for comparison. So we see the high level of total coliforms, and then you're looking into here, so coliform in the soils. And so, the higher the peak is the same compared with, 2017 and 2018. The difference is here in the early applications. And in this year, we detect low numbers. And we only have 3 logs compared with, last year, we have about 5 logs on here. So, at the end, they are pretty similarly. It's around 5 logs on here. And we also looking into the, genetic ecology. So because genetic ecology is kind of, by, regulatory perspective, is targeting for the, fruit kind of quantifications. So that's why we know in the 2018, we add in genetic ecology, and you can see, in compost, we didn't see a lot, genetic ecology, but in the, DAE and raw manures, we see quite a high number on this. And so here is, coliform data in the raspberry field on the, leaf samples. And you can see that this is, looking into here. And so 2017 and 2018. And you can see on the leaf sample, coliform is pretty low. It's less than 1 log. It's kind of barely, detect on here. The same with, genetic ecology. Genetic ecology is even lower. And so it's pretty much below the detection levels on here. So now I want to point out, for fruit, we didn't detect any coliform or genetic ecology. That's why I didn't show here, but we do testing on here. And then we go into the blueberries. Blueberries in the coliform, similarly, you can see it's, blueberry coliform level in the soil is lower compared with raspberries. I think this, and then, it's about 4 logs, and 2 years, it's pretty consistently, it's, slightly decreased during the harvest. And then we go into genetic ecology, and you can see this is white bass. It's very low level in the, soil samples and, fertilizers on here. So now I want to take a whole message from here. So through the cross the board, cross the, field, cross the treatment, cross the sampling, kind of different sampling point. We didn't detect any positive on E. coli O157H7, sugar toxin producing E. coli Listeria monocytogenes in both years of the study, in both berry fields. And so we do detect salmonella in the some soil treatment, soil fertilizer, and soil samples in early applications. And then we didn't detect any before harvest or after harvest, or in the leaf samples or fruit samples in both berry fields. And then for coliform, and we see that highest coliform in the compost manures. And then total coliform levels in soil remaining pretty stable during the seasons. And this is a little bit different, probably varies between the years and between the fields. And then, in the coliform and or genetic E. coli in the leaf sample or fruit, it's very low. In the fruit sample, we are not able to detect. So now, based on our, kind of sampling experiment scope, we concluded, those manure-derived, fertilizer didn't, compromise food safety efficacy. Thank you for your, attention. And so I would like, in the last, I want to thank all the students that come to the work and my collaborators. And I will also, want to thank raspberry field farms and blueberry farms for their, kind of generous help and support for this project. Thank you for your attention.
Anyone have any questions for Meijun? All right, in that case, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Meijun, and listening about this exciting project. So just a couple last announcements before I let you go over the social hour. Again, as we mentioned, the survey, if you want to see Karen, if you're a person who makes nutrient decisions and might be interested in taking about 20 minutes at home to do the survey and mail it back to us, that would be really, really helpful with this project. And once again, as usual, we'd love to have your reviews. If you go to that mobile app and tap the review for this